Hello and welcome to the YouTube channel for the Renaissance English History Podcast. I am your host, Heather Tesco, and here on YouTube, I post shorter things, funny things, sometimes quite silly things, and videos that are on topics that maybe might not make it into the Renaissance English History Podcast because it's in a different time period, and I still think it's very interesting or worthwhile. So, if you want to tutorify your YouTube, please go ahead and like this video and click subscribe. It feeds the algorithm and it helps other people find this channel as well so we can continue to grow it. Thank you so very much. So today is National Look Up at the Stars Day. It's April 14th, and if you're listening to this on April 14th, please go out and look up at the stars tonight, or really go up and look at the stars no matter when you're listening to this. It doesn't have to be April 14th. But especially if it's April 14th. So I did an episode several years ago on Tudor astronomy. That was a longer episode. I think it was close to half an hour actually. So I'm not going to rehash that, but I did want to put something special up for the day that it is. So we're going to delve into some Tudor astronomy and its impact on the scientific world. And I'm just going to put that link up as well for you to be able to check out the full episode if you really want to dig deep. So the main thing that was going on in the 16th century was we realized that we're not the center of the universe. Quite literally. I mean, some people I know still might need to get that message through to them. No, I'm kidding. But we humans realized that we are not the center of the universe. So the Copernican idea of the heliocentric solar system, where the planets revolve around the sun, shook the foundations of belief. This happened right during the Reformation as well. So, everything, if you can imagine these pillars of beliefs, these pillars of what was important to people, just kind of collapsing one at a time. First, people start questioning the Pope, and people start questioning the Catholic Church, which had been the church. Catholic means universal, right? It had been the universal church for 1,000 years. That starts to get questioned on a very deep level. And then we realize that all this time we thought that the sun was going around the earth, actually the other way around. And yes, before you leave a comment, yes, certainly learned people, even as far back as the Greeks, understood that the earth went around the sun. But in terms of, what common people were able to understand, what wasn't in the realm of the very elite scientific knowledge that maybe at any given time 30 people on Earth had. And this was something that shook the foundations of beliefs. So in 1543, Copernicus published his groundbreaking work on the revolutions of the celestial spheres. Medieval astronomy had flourished in Europe after the introduction of the astrolabe in the 11th century. But the teachings were heavily influenced by Plato and Aristotle, with Earth as the center of the universe. The Renaissance saw the rediscovery of these ancient Greek and Roman texts, as well as the Arabic medical papers that emphasized the importance of the stars in astrological forecasts and really had people start to rethink everything that they had believed. Two more significant events shaped this era. First, there was the Black Death of the 14th century, which led to the development of labor-saving technologies. Suddenly, there was a need for cheap labor, and so technology kind of filled that in. I recently heard in a book, I was reading a book on Roman history, and it talked about how the Romans probably never became mechanized because they didn't have a labor shortage. There were slaves, there were plenty of slaves to do whatever you needed done. So it would have been more work to try to invent something to save the labor when you already had lots of labor for free. Europe in the post-Black Death period was dealing with a labor shortage, and that led to the development of a lot of technology, right? Then also, there was this influx of Christian scholars and source materials after the fall of Constantinople in 1453. So people who had been living in Constantinople, where they still had a lot of these original texts, these Arabic texts, everything like that, they flooded into Europe, bringing some of their work with them, and it really started to give people a new sense of ideas. In England, during the Elizabethan period, we have John Dee, who was a mathematician, a scientist, and occultist. At that point, there wasn't a line between the occultist and the scientist like there is today. So this is a period where, John Dee can have the world's largest library, or one of the largest libraries in Europe, and also spend much of his time trying to get the Philosopher's Stone and, trying to find the Fountain of Youth and all of that kind of stuff. Then there were some other scientists in England. There was Thomas Digges, who expanded on Copernican ideas, proposing an infinite universe with infinitely many stars. Can you imagine how, that's mind-boggling to me now, having had astronomy class in college and a bit of an understanding. I watch Brian Cox documentaries, right, on the BBC. So I have that knowledge, and it's mind-boggling to me. Can you imagine how mind-boggling it would have been to, your average person hearing about the idea that there's infinite stars out there with, infinite planets, and it goes on forever, infinite. Then we had Tycho Brahe, a Danish astronomer, trying to compromise between the Aristotelian and the Copernican system, saying that maybe other planets revolved around the sun, but the sun still revolved around the earth. Such an exciting time where you could, have these discussions and have these people doing this research and disagreeing and arguing and going back and forth to try to arrive somewhere at truth. So that's all I'm going to do for right now. Hopefully this whets your appetite, and I'm going to put a link in this video right down below on your screen to be able to listen to the entire episode on Elizabethan astronomy. Hopefully you have time to do that and go out and look at the stars today. All right, thanks for listening. Go ahead and remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this.